now that we've pretty much finished up our AdminLTE series, I want to use this time to clean up some things that we have on here to add some additional smaller features that really weren't worthy of putting in one video for each one. For instance, like the active link for the sidebar, as well as the preloader, because when we refresh or we come back to this page, we don't have our preloader active. We haven't done anything to it yet, as well as work on a couple of different bugs that I want to sort out. Everything is going to be timestamped down below, so you can just skip to whatever specific thing that you're looking to fix, or you could just watch the whole video and see if there's something that you didn't even think of. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to work on fixing a little bit of a bug when it comes to pagination, which is what we did in the previous part of the series. Now, we have set it up so that the links down here, if there are more than 4 links down here, then we should show pagination, in which case, if there are less than 4, then pagination wouldn't show down here. Basically, it's true. If we go over to roles, we have 5 roles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we were to create another role, I'll just say access roles, we should have a 6th role in here. We, in fact, cannot see that. And why is that? Well, let's open up the inspect tools and we'll take a look at our index. And as you can see here, we have 5 roles. We have all of our roles here. There are an array of 5 of them. But our logic is working off of the links. Now, technically, there should be 2 pages because there's 5 items per page, where yes, we are seeing the 5 per the page, but our logic is saying if there are more than 4, we're not seeing our pagination here. And the reason for that is, in reality, what we really need to do is check for, instead of the data length, we need to check for the links length, which is fine, but we need to say, basically, if there's a second page, then we want the pagination. In this case, we would have, instead of is greater than 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to have it if it's greater than 3. If there are 2 pages, that will include us having those pages, and then 2 and 3. So then if we have a second page worth of stuff to do, then that will account for our previous, our next, and the 2 pages that we have. If we only have 1 page, then it shouldn't show because there'll be less than 4. It would make a lot more sense. So let's go to the text editor and see if this will work the way it should work. From here, we're going to go ahead to that pagination component. And now we'll say here, if the links.length is greater than 3. So we have the first page, the previous, the next, that will be 3 pages. If there's more than that, then it should show the pagination. So let's go ahead, refresh this. There we go. Now we can see that we have pagination like intended. And we can go to that page. Whereas if we have, let's say, I think it was admins, we only have 4, then we don't need pagination. If we go to permissions, then yes, we have more. And then if we go to users, then yes, of course, we have more. I also want to add some padding on this. Let's go and do that. Here, I'm just going to add padding of, let's just say 2. That should be enough. Okay, so that's given us a little bit of space, and then we have some better logic to go with our pagination. Cool. The next thing I want to do is I want to start dealing with that weird bug that we have when sometimes we come to this page and we've lost all our styling. I thought I initially fixed it before, but it turns out that that wasn't the case, and sometimes it will do it and sometimes it won't. So let's say we log out, log in. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Absolutely fine. Oh, I forgot that doesn't go anywhere. Let's go and do something a little bit more appropriate to fix that, and then we should be good on that. Now, Inertia has ways of redirecting that kind of is pointing to outside links. So even though it's within our project, it's still basically forcing the page to actually refresh so that we can use it to our advantage. So I want to go to App Providers, Fortify Service Provider. And here where we did the redirect back to the admin.dashboard, we can actually change this up to be Inertia make sure to import the class. And let me just go make sure that brought in the right one. Use inertia. And then instead of redirecting, we'll do location. And again, this will just change the location of that route. So I'm going to get rid of this, and then put the closing parentheses on here. That will fix that little random bug. So I'm going to refresh this. And since I can't really recreate it because it does happen kind of sporadically, let's try to register a user. So that's fine. Now, if we log out, log in is, let's say, the admin at app.com. Password is password. Log in. Then obviously we don't see it, but of course, because when I want to show you what the issue is, I can't actually. Pretty typical for me. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to add some active classes to these links on the side here so that we know when we're on the page, which we're on, looking at this sidebar. Now, if we head into the sidebar component that we have and we go to our first link, which is tables, right in here, we have the link going to the dashboard, and then we have some classes on it. Now, really, all we need to do is to find some classes. So we'll do class equals, and I'll bring this down so that we can see this better. I'm going to add some curly brackets, and then we're going to put in a conditional where active is going to be the class that we want to put on is route.current admin roles index. And the reason why we can do that is because we are also leveraging Ziggy by Titan Co. In that documentation, there is a function to get the current route. So whichever the current route is, we're just saying that if this current route, which is admin.roles.index, is the current one, then we'll put the active status on it. I'm just going to copy this. And then we'll come down to permissions and do the same thing. This instead is going to be permissions. This one is going to be for users. And this one, of course, is going to be for the admins. Let's check the browser and see if we have that active class on there now. Okay, very cool. So it is a white background. We go to roles, then that one has it. Same thing for the other ones. Perfect. Now I also want to add onto the dashboard, I want to add a current user count. So all of our new members, I want them to have a count in here. So because we have a dashboard controller for admin, maybe if I spell it correctly, there we go. Come down here. I'm going to create a variable and I'll say that it is user equals user. Make sure we import that. And then where is admin is 0. Now that we're using this type of logic in 3 different controllers, we can extract it into a scope. I've done that before, I believe, in the social network series that we did, and maybe one other time in using scopes to handle that kind of a logic, just to kind of clean up the controller a bit. But that's a little bit out of the scope of what I wanted to do today. It just is what it is. Basically, any user who's not an admin, that's what that is saying. We can leverage Laravel's weird date function. And then we'll say where the created at is greater than now. Sub days. It's a carbon function. And then this is allowing us to calculate -3 days. So basically, all this line is saying is if the created at date is greater than now minus 3 days, so within the last 3 days, then they are technically the new users. So now we can go ahead and also inject that into the view. And I'll just call it user count equals the user variable that we created. And then we just want to get the count of the actual users that we are looking for with that variable. Save that, and then we are going to go ahead to the dashboard. I forgot where it is. Let's go to resources, admin dashboard.view, and let's see. Well, we don't have a props section in here, which is fine. We can just do define props. We'll say user count. And user count will just be a number. Now we can use this variable in the template to where we have that, which I don't even remember exactly where that is, but I think it's somewhere. We'll look for 2000 and then we should be able to get it. Because this I know is a big file, so we'll say 2000. Is there a comma in there? I think there's a comma. Perfect. Now here, delete that, and now we can put in user count. Let's check the browser. So there was one created. I think I created one earlier today, and that's that one, which is perfect. That is a new user of ours. Awesome. Now, the last thing that I want to work on today is adding back that preloader that we should have in this. Whenever we go to a page, that preloader should show up, and I think we just commented it out. So we're going to go ahead and work on that. Now, that one should be in the admin layout. And as you can see, here is where we commented out, and we don't have any logic in here for that. I'm going to start with views on mounted, and I'll make sure to import it up top. From view. And really, we're just going to use the logic that came with the package, which is let selector loader equal dot preloader. And let's uncomment this and take a look. We have a preloader class in here with some flexing assigned to it. And then we have the image for the little wobble. All of that looks good there. Let's continue on with the function. We're just going to set timeout. And here I'm going to let loader equal. And I'm going to come up here and then I'm going to grab this variable, paste it in here. And then we're going to say if loader, and we'll say that loader dot CSS, we're going to say that the height equals 0. And then we want to set timeout again. I'm going to copy this one, paste it here, and let me straighten this out a bit so I don't lose concentration. Set timeout, loader, instead of CSS, it will be children. We can get rid of this, and then it will be to hide. The timeout for this, I want it to be just 200, and the timeout for the entire function, I want to be 2000. These are seconds. Not 2000 seconds, it'll be 2 seconds, and then not much of a second. Let's see what that looks like now. Go ahead, refresh, and as you can see, now we have we can even put a little bit of a delay on it, just so you could see it a little better. Let's say, instead of 2, I'll say 4 for 4 seconds. And now it's a bit longer. We refresh, refresh. If we go to a different page, then it lasts a bit longer. If we do that, it lasts a little bit longer. But if we refresh the page, then it doesn't last as long. So I'm going to go ahead and set it back to what it was initially and call it a day. That was officially it. I hope I've done this series some justice with our little revamp of it, and I will be releasing the code with this last video. The link for that will be down in the description once the video goes public. I'll also make the repo public. I have to obviously add today's code to that, as well as readme, fix that, and give a license so that you guys can use it however you want. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button, as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.